Tonight's event really is the antidote for those of you who are disillusioned by the US presidential debate, or for those of you who are not quite sure where to emigrate to after the referendum on whether an over-regulated UK decides to leave the EU or whether the UK decides to remain in an over-regulated European Union. So tonight you'll find out as to where you can escape. And there's not a great deal for me to say actually, other than to introduce the speaker. All will be revealed when the speaker makes his presentation. But I'm delighted to introduce Vít, please excuse my pronunciation, Vít Jedlička, who is the president of the Free Republic of Liberland. He's extremely well educated in free market economics. He's got a master's degree from the Severo Institute, a bachelor's degree from the University of Economics in Prague, and he describes himself, considers himself to be a libertarian with liberal views on individual freedom, and is very much influenced by Bastia, and would further describe himself as a, broadly speaking, an anarcho-capitalist. We've had events at the IEA and certainly the Adam Smith Institute on seasteading before, which is a similar sort of thing in some respects to what we're going to hear about tonight, except that involves a huge boat out on the open seas to try to avoid any government regulation. But I think it's fair to say that today's event is somewhat unique and will be a fascinating insight into a new venture.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to speak at your institute. I really appreciate your invitation. For me, it's also great pleasure always to be in London because there are so many liberty-loving people, basically our diaspora here in the United Kingdom. And many people ask me why I started a new country, why I didn't fight more in Czech politics, in my Libertarian party, for any change. And yesterday I actually got to read a quote by Buckminster Fuller. He said that you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And I think this fundamentally explains why we actually started Liberland. We could see, and I could see, that it was close to impossible to achieve the ideal of the society that I wanted to see. I could see how hard it is to lower any kind of regulation or taxation, level of taxation or regulation that has been already installed. It is close to impossible. You know, Ronald Reagan said that the new governmental institution, if they're put in place, they are the closest thing to eternal life that you can see on this planet. So with this approach, after 5 years of experience in Czech politics, I simply understood that it might be much easier to start a new state than to change something in Czech politics. And I was apparently right. The response that we received from the people about starting this new state was about 20 times bigger than we expected. But we expected something like 20,000 people interested in what we are doing, and now we have almost 400,000 that registered on our website. And we are also very close to being an internationally recognized state. I've been in very good talks with a number of governments which make me believe that we will be an internationally recognized entity, because there are leaders in other governments who really like what we are doing. And to be honest, what is recognition, state recognition? It's the case when somebody recognizes you. And I can tell you that most of the diplomatic corps worldwide already recognizes Liberland. I went to Dubai and I was approached by economic attaché of American embassy there, and he very well knew what we are doing, and he was amazed by what we are doing. Like wherever I go, I meet people from the diplomatic community that are chit-chatting about what is happening in Liberland, and which makes me very optimistic about our future in terms of diplomacy. So we started the country on 13th of April We wanted to honor the birthday of Thomas Jefferson. We are starting the country on very same ideals of limited government, of low taxation, low regulation, of really a kind of belief that there should be a separation of state and the economy. It's a similar aspect or similar concept like separation state from religion. And yes, we can witness that the state has become a religion in its own sense. I just came from ULC University where I delivered a lecture, and if you think about it, those people sometimes are simply educated to believe in state. State has become something like a religion in the modern society. And these people, they kind of appreciate a new way of thinking when I tell them, you know, in Liberland, there will be no place for state education. State is banned from organizing education. There will be no place for healthcare system organized by state. There will be no place for a state marriage. You know, no more debate about whether or not there should be a gay marriage granted by the state or not, because state will not be able to make any laws on that subject. In our constitution, we strictly limited state to take care only of justice, security and diplomacy, nothing apart of that. And we would like to go even further. We are still discovering how we could use the latest technologies to distribute the power of the state even further. And I can tell you there are so many great concepts how this can be done with modern technologies such as blockchain and Ethereum, for example. So we are a platform also of the technology people that want to make the change in state bureaucracy in the ways that the state is run. At this time, we are the only country that claims this territory on the sovereign level and also on the private level. There is no other country that does that. We claimed this country simply by sticking a flag to it, and we declared it to the world media, and we received enormous response. If you look how many world media have spoken about Liberland, you can see that almost all big international media, including CNN, Russia Today, New York Times Magazine, and all these giant media informed about it with great pleasure, actually. We claimed it, and right after we claimed it, we received the support from Serbia, stating that state of Liberland was not formed on territory of Liberland, and they basically don't mind creation of it. Which was kind of amazing for me. I couldn't believe it when they issued this statement. And we know very well that Croatia never claimed this piece of land. They don't have any kind of data on it. They do not register it in their own cadastral maps. There is a big white place there. They would like this place to belong to Serbia. For more than 24 years, Croatia is trying to impose this territory to Serbia in order to win their territorial dispute. But it's simply not working. One state cannot force a territory to another state if they don't want it. They created a legal case for terra nullius, which we simply used as a good starting point for a new nation, a new country. And we knew that this new nation, a new country, has been always there. Those were the people who believed in liberty for many centuries. Those people were simply trying, and they were minority usually in the society, trying to impose more freedom. You know, the libertarians are conspiring to take over the world and then leave you alone. I like that quote, right? But to be honest, we have failed. State has grown to a size of 40–50% in some of the societies. It is growing constantly. There are more and more regulations. We might have some successes, maybe with the exit of Britain from European Union, but that doesn't really guarantee that there will be less regulation and less taxes after the exit. You know, the status quo is very hard to change. And we're also, you know, discovering how to proceed now. We have lots of options. Because Croatia still doesn't claim this territory, now they issued a statement after they said we are internet joke at the beginning. Now they issued a statement that the territory is not subject to claim by third party. which is kind of nice because they already consider us a third party, they already acknowledge our existence, they put us on the level of statehood. It is de facto recognition by Croatia. And it's also kind of interesting to find out that there is no way how to prevent a positive project, especially a nation state, from existence if it is a positive thing. And there is no way to fight it, right? If whenever Croatia is trying to push us back, they are actually acknowledging our existence and they are helping us to grow even bigger. So we have lots of options. One of them is to go on with the courts that we are now dealing with. We've got 36 court cases running in the Croatia courts, and we've got some initiatives on the European level. But I truly believe that with new Croatia government, and I was able to meet some of the people from this government last week, that with new Croatia government we have a great chance to actually open up a positive, fruitful diplomatic dialogue. The new Croatia government was installed some month ago, almost 2 months ago, and it is simply much more pro-free market than the previous one. We received so far, and I was in Turkey for 2 days, so it's now 4,000 people more in just 2 days, and there is also 2,000 people more that applied for citizenship. So we got over 400,000 people registered. And lots of these people actually come from places like Egypt, Turkey, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, around 30%. But rest of the table is pretty much evenly distributed. We've got 10,000 people in Czech Republic, 10,000 people in United States, 3,000 people in Italy, Croatia, 400 people, 6,000 people in Serbia, a neighboring country. Our diaspora is pretty strong worldwide. And if we wanted to accommodate everybody in our territory, we would be the heaviest overpopulated place on earth right now, by actually 7 times, so it would be really densely populated. So what we have done, we have done a process, we are preparing a process for our future citizens, how they can be part of our new nation, how they can get the full citizenship, and we would like to have a dedicated group of individuals that are pushing for the creation of this. People are now collecting merits on their accounts for whatever positive they do for the country. They get our currency back, and they can use this currency either to acquire the citizenship in future or get pieces of the land in some kind of free market auctions. This was the system that we developed after many hours of discussion how we should actually proceed. And we've got pretty minarchist constitution, but we would like to actually push it even further. We would like to install a second chamber, a chamber of shareholders of the projects. That will make it, I think, much more favorable for the liberties of the people than traditional democracy, where everybody has the same vote. Because also sometimes the people that simply did more for the country, that are more beneficial, that are the ones that are paying taxes, simply to be, are outvoted, and I don't think it's a fair thing. So we are installing a second chamber out of shareholders of this piece of land, basically like landowners that are able to prevent any kind of socialist move against the liberties and against the property rights of the former owners. This is how the passports look like. They're already in print. We've got a first edition of stamps, now there is second edition of stamps. We've got lots of companies that are using our name to promote our country. I think that there is no country that could exist without a proper beer.
It's not a state, what is it?
It's not a state company, no, we just made a deal with them that they can use the name of our country on their product, but there is no other relation so far. And I can tell you there is a lot of corporations that would like to get involved and like take over the state, but we are resisting it, just like the founding fathers of United States in many ways. We've got really top architects with us on this project. We've got some 1,200 architects that apply for citizenship. It's very popular, also with lawyers. Lots of lawyers, I understand why they would like to have a little bit let's say, simpler system of laws. And we have a really simple system of laws. So far we have 5 of them.
What are they?
That's wonderful.
I really believe it's actually enough for a decent society. Like, you don't have to have thousands of laws in order to run society. Kacper Zajac, he is actually based in London, and he is the one that is helping us the most with this work. He studied London School of Economics, and he very well understands our principles, and he's the one pushing our legal system forward. But everything we do is on GitHub, so anybody can comment before it's actually created, even our own constitution. We've got top architects. We have some now 25 architectural concepts. This is just one of them. I received them a couple of days ago. I wasn't able to go through them yet because I'm always traveling from city to city, and I quite like this one. It was actually the only one that I saw so far. But it's a good piece of work. Somebody was thinking about how Liberland could be developed. And we've got Patrick Schumacher. He's actually partner with Zaha Hadid, who organized this competition. And he is one of the people that are pushing free market urbanism. It's a very interesting, but it's a subject for a different lecture. I wish he could be with us here, maybe later for some other occasion. But he has a really good idea as how urban planning can be done without state intervention. One of the things about our urban competition was that there should be more trees, more nature. Was like let's say my wish, also for the PR purposes, and also because it's nice that there should be more nature at the end that we get to destroy. And it is, it's a pretty nice piece of nature actually. And there is a lot of wildlife as well. And this is the reality now, right? This is the only house that we have in Liberland. It has been abandoned for more than 30 years. It's an old hunting lodge. There was a family living there 30 years ago, but it's really now in bad shape. Those were the settlers that were able to get inside Liberland despite the blockade by Croatia, 2 members of American military, and our Chinese ambassador, and also one Austrian. They were smart enough to sneak through and out, but unfortunately they got arrested later on because police saw the pictures on our Facebook page. But then they were telling us, this is their parliament. Croatia, when it was possible to go to Liberland some week ago after I studied country, it was impossible later on. But some week after I started Liberland, Croatia State Television came to Liberland, and they said, this is their parliament. See how bad condition their parliament is. And we said, let's show them how we would like to have our parliament and our only governmental building. One place for police, one place for judge, one place for diplomacy, and then maybe 20 members of the parliament. And this is it. For a very long time, we would really like the government to be able to fit in this one building. For now, we have 70 representative offices around the world. I think we are the fastest growing organization, not only Libertarian organization, but any organization on this planet at this stage. We are setting up 2 new offices a week, and we are actually able to have a representative office in all nations and all countries in the world. There is not a single country that there would not be any applicant. We didn't have one from anybody from Panama, but I was able to find representative there at least. And now we actually have lots of people from Panama because he was promoting it among its friends. But we have even one person from Vatican, 4 people from San Marino. And one of them is lawyer, the other one is PR person, and the third one is actually architect. And so they can make a great team as our embassy there, and they are doing it already. It's happening. And we've got lots of support also from political players. Those are the first political parties that called for recognition of Liberland. It was Swiss independence parties, Up Swiss, which was the first one. Only like 3-4 days after we started the country, there was already a political party in Switzerland calling for our recognition. And the Norwegian Capitalist Party, I'm going to speak at their annual convention 1 month from now. Spanish Libertarian Party, French Libertarian Party, German Libertarian Party. There are now other 5 political parties that support Liberland. And I was able to go to Turkey this time for my second visit. And I made appointments with four important political parties in Turkey. And they all supported, publicly supported recognition of Liberland, no matter what ideology they held, which was very, very encouraging for me. And I actually received a full recognition by the biggest opposition party in Turkey, with official ceremony with the mayor 2 weeks ago. And so I think we are on a good track to be fully recognized by the big political players, because there is nothing really that would make those players not to like us, basically. This is the mayor from the news yesterday, which he was awarded Besiktas, yes, which was very nice. We've got support. Our representative Juan Pina is actually chairman of Libertarian Party in Spain. Prince Hans Adam, he was kind of supportive. He said, "That's great. We are going to sit in UN together. Liechtenstein, Liberland, it's going to be right next to us." And maybe he's right, but we're actually not seeking for the full membership of United Nations. I don't think it's necessary. We will be fine with observatory membership. Because it's also on a good track to become something like global European Union, like a global governance scheme. There are lots of people who are pushing for it, and I think it's going to become more and more reality. The bigger, the faster the decline of European Union will occur, the stronger and the more organized will the governance on the global level will be. So I don't think that we need to necessarily support it by our membership. That Switzerland was not member of United Nations until 1993, and they actually had hosted the headquarters of this organization, right? And we have even support from Swiss Parliament. Lukas Reimann, who is one of the members of Parliament calling for withdrawal of Switzerland from United Nations. He is very much supportive. He introduced me to the people in the Foreign Committee. So I'm happy that there are important people across, even the political spectrum who support Liberland. And we've got actually supporters from European Parliament from almost all fractions. I think excluding the most communist part of European Parliament. There are people from European People's Party, and actually Tomáš Zdechovský, he even got arrested for trying to settle Liberland, despite the fact that he had a diplomatic passport. Peter Mach is a good friend of mine from European Freedom and Democracy. He said that he would like Czech Republic to become another Liberland. Korwin-Mikke is also supportive. He lost. He didn't get to Polish Parliament by, I think, like 200 votes or something. But he's still member of European Parliament, and they're basically really members even from the Nations and Freedom section, maybe 10 of them that I met, and they showed all the support for what we are doing. Richard Sulík, he applied to be our ambassador in Slovakia. Now he is very likely to become next prime minister after the elections in Slovakia, so we might have to find somebody else for the job. But we were very much honored that even people on the highest political places are interested in helping what we are doing. We've got some new ideas how, and this is always a bit, let's say, I've got a little bit of conflict, right? How much the state should actually do. But I think we've got a really good idea what we could do in order to make the best company registry in Liberland. We would like to combine the things like PayPal, where you can very easily put in and out cash, and things like Bitcoin, where it's completely transparent, with things like Uber. When you register your company, you also get to promote it, no matter where your company is, if it's attached to address or your location. So you can also say that you are, I don't know, tax advisor based on your GPS location. And I think there is a great place actually for some application that would allow anybody to any kind of business anywhere around the world, and also in a tax-free environment. So I think it's a great idea. I'm looking now for somebody who will help us to finalize it. We are very close to make a deal with American company about this. It should be open source, because there is nothing. If you want to, for example, now run your own taxi company and use some open source application to get your customers in, you don't have an option now on the market, unfortunately. And we are not making it as a market thing, we are making it as just a small feature of our company registry. And we think it actually can bring a lot of voluntary taxes, because on the end of every transaction we will be asking for a small tip for whatever is being done through this application. And I think this can actually become even larger thing than the state itself. And this is the government. This is the finance minister. This is the Liberlandian beard. We were actually shooting some promotional pictures. This is our foreign minister, Monika Chlumská. This is my first lady. And that is Ondřej Příhoňský, is our interior minister. They were just, they're doing a good job. They just presented Liberland at European Students for Liberty conference 2 days ago. And I can pretty much rely on that. I think I picked up the best people that I could. We also have a French vice president and a vice president based in Washington. So we are quite international. And we've got a really, let's say, courageous plan. What we want to do, we think we need another year to stabilize our diplomatic relations with Croatia and Serbia. We've got now full-time diplomats in both of these countries. And we need to organize ourselves in order to be fully recognizable entity by standard European democracies. And we would like to consolidate our citizenship by 2018, start really big investment, take over the control of territory, have 150 functioning embassies, not only 70, and have these embassies recognized by 2020, and really start a big investment from that on. Show the world that the freedom, and whenever you set up a really free area, that it really works, that it's bringing a lot of people together, a lot of investment together. And actually, the applicants for citizenship, they themselves pledged that they will invest more than $20 billion, which is kind of amazing figure. But I think it's possible. Some of the companies that, or the CEOs of these companies that apply for the citizenship could do this investment if they just did it alone, if they decided. So it's not a total science fiction. And we would like to be the most libertarian nation in the world, of course, with highest respect to personal liberty, and we would like to show the world that it actually brings the most economic growth possible. I think that a growth of 20–30% is absolutely achievable in this kind of society, and that it could be a very good model for the other countries that they could just simply take and accept. So the website for the conference, where we are going to describe more of the things, where we are going to bring all the important supporters, including Jeffrey Tucker, for example, is going to happen on 16th of April. You are very much invited to this event. The conferential website should be up and running tomorrow, I hope. And it's a great time for us because it was going to be only 5 kilometers away from Liberland. You can take Ryanair, which is subsidized by Croatia government from London. So not only the security, but also the transport is subsidized by them. And it's going to be a weekend conference where the leaders, technological leaders, and the political leaders who support us will be present. And we only have some 70 places left, and we haven't even started promoting it yet. So I'm very much inviting you to go and visit this. And I'm also here to promote the establishment of our office here in London. I'm very happy that I was able to make some kind of partnership with the World Taxpayers Alliance. We hope to actually make it into a more formal relationship. I'm now going for this 3-day conference to do that. Lorenzo Montanari has been very supportive of what we are doing. Yesterday I met leaders of Rotaract in Turkey, and they said they will promote the idea of Liberland among their network. So I think these two organizations, if we find a way how they can cooperate on making Liberland happen, are very powerful partners for what we are doing. And I would be happy to cooperate with anybody from this institution or from any other institution, libertarian institution, to help us build a strong presence here in UK, which is very much needed. We also need to have a recognition by UK government sooner or later. And I'm happy that we already have a group of 8-10 people that are pushing Liberland here, but I think we need much more stable support. I'm very happy for Jay that he's here. He's my advisor now for more than 4 months. He has done a tremendous job in contacting us with important political and newspaper figures. I'm happy that I have here Faisal Bhatt, who is our representative for Pakistan, who is helping us with this project as well. So, and I'm grateful for your invitation, and I'm very open to any questions that you might have about Liberland.